South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. But he died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning.
All righty, time to get going on this Thursday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. Well, it's almost Friday, but this is your Thursday Race Day show. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station, the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital, and of course on the South Point Studio streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show. Also, all of you listening here this morning at our anchor radio station, Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. And then, of course, all the other platforms we have, the websites, the apps for your devices, your Google, your iPhone, your Android, and all of the podcasting. However, wherever, whenever you get us, welcome to the Race Day Show for this almost Friday, Thursdays. We're ramping it up here. We're already in the middle of the first month of 2005. Can you believe it or not? A lot of stuff going on. As far as this month is concerned, don't forget the 54th Eclipse Awards will be presented in the award show on Thursday, the 23rd, which is 1 week from today, as a matter of fact. And so want to remind everybody that on that day, you can watch the ceremonies. It's an award ceremony on, I believe, FanDuel will be covering it. And we'll get the finalists. The finalists are already out, and we'll get the winners of the Eclipse Awards for 2004. That's coming up on the 23rd. Of course, we have some Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks points races this month as well. Coming up this weekend, of course, on Saturday will be the Lecomte. That'll hold 20 points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard. And also the Philly race there, the Kentucky Oaks for the Kentucky Oaks points. And that is, of course, the Silver Bullet Day at the fairgrounds. Also want to remind everybody that the Busanda out at Aqueduct on Saturday also holds Kentucky Oaks leaderboard points as well. So we got two races for the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard points, one at Aqueduct, one at Fairgrounds, of course, the Lecomte at the Fairgrounds coming up on Saturday. And, of course, then you have, to wrap up the month, on the 25th, the Southwest Stakes for the Kentucky Derby points will hold 20 points for that. The Southwest, of course, part of the Arkansas Derby Series out at Oaklawn. And the Martha Washington also on that day, also at Oaklawn, will be holding 20 points for the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard as well. So we're getting into the stride for gaining points for the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. Those are the races left this month with points up for grabs. I want to also remind you that tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time, this is 3 p.m. Pacific time, there will be the Pool 3, the third pool in the Kentucky Derby Parimutuel Future Book offerings. Kentucky Derby Parimutuel Future Book offerings, Pool 3 will start on Friday. Now remember, it's not like the traditional Future Book, where if you go into a book here and you see the odds of the horse, let's say at 15 to 1, and you place your bet, you lock it in at 15 to 1. Not with the Parimutuel. Whatever the price is at the time you purchase your ticket is only the price at the time you purchase it. The final odds and the locked-in odds for each horse will be at the end of the parimutuel betting time, and that, of course, will be wrapping up on Sunday. So once it wraps up on Sunday, they'll put the final odds up there, and that's what you'll get with the parimutuel. Right now, the individual horse, I understand, is Bob Baffert's that big, expensive horse that won not only at Churchill Downs, but recently at Santa Anita. Individual favorite is at 10 to 1. The individual favorite. Now, you know that last one, I think the spot 30 or 24, whatever it is, the last one on the Future Book, that's the one that has all others that are not included in the earlier positions, that the bulk of every other three rolled out there. And that is usually the favorites in the early going, and that will be definitely the favorite in this pool as well. So that starts on Friday. Today at Sunland Park is going to have 2 days of stakes races. Today they have a couple of stakes races on tap at Sunland. And then tomorrow, Friday, they'll have 4 stakes races that will include the Riley Allison Derby. Now, the Riley Allison Derby will not hold any Kentucky Derby points, but it's the Derby out there at Sunland. So between today and tomorrow, they'll have 6 stakes races going on at Sunland Park. And, of course, on Saturday, the big stakes race day at the fairgrounds with their 6 stakes races highlighted by the Lecompton, the Silver Bullet Day, and Santa Anita, which is bringing in the 5 stakes races that that was canceled last week, the Cal Cup 5 stakes races there on Saturday. Also on Sunday at Santa Anita, they're going to bring in the La Cienega that was also canceled last Sunday, and so there will be 2 stakes races at Santa Anita on Sunday. So we got a lot going on. Saudi Crown, the horse Saudi Crown, is out of the Pegasus now. Didn't like the way he was leading up to the Pegasus. Remember, the Pegasus will be conducted 1 week from Saturday. The next 1 week from Saturday, following this Saturday, the Pegasus World Cup day of racing. You have the Pegasus World Cup and the Pegasus World Cup Turf as well. Remember that. Big day of racing coming up at Gulfstream Park 1 week from Saturday. But Saudi Crown, the horse, is out of the Pegasus World Cup. That moves in New Granger. New Granger was added from Southern California as an invitee now for the Pegasus World Cup as a result of the defection of Saudi Crown. It seems like the Stronach Corporation that owns Gulfstream Park has put down, I will use the word ultimatum, although that might be too strong a word, maybe a strong suggestion from the ownership at Gulfstream Park to the Florida Horsemen to decouple the slot revenue and the slot jurisdiction from the racing jurisdiction. Right now, it's under one umbrella as far as being regulated, etc. They want to, and they're lobbying in Florida to separate it. So the casinos will be in under one regulation roof, and the racing will be on the other. They're trying to separate it. And so they offered the horsemen a guarantee of 3 more years of racing at Gulfstream Park if they support the decoupling of the casinos with the racetrack as far as the revenue and the regulations are concerned. That leads me to think, did they only think there's 3 years of racing left at Gulfstream? I mean, you shouldn't be sitting there saying guaranteeing any. I mean, the Gulfstream is just going to keep going on. They just built a whole new complex there, et cetera. So it makes you wonder if that is some sort of a veiled threat or whatever it is, but it just didn't look right. And I'll get more on that probably from Jonathan Hardoon and our handicappers a little bit later on. But that was it. They offered 3 more guaranteed years of racing at Gulfstream Park in exchange for the horsemen's support for decoupling the casino action and the racetracks there in the state of Florida. Kind of unusual the way they're going about it, but we'll wait and see about that. Certainly, Gulfstream Park right now is one of the premier racetracks as far as racing, and of course, they're in their championship meet now, and they have all those big races during this meet. That includes the Florida Derby, a pivotal race for the Kentucky Derby. We'll wait and see about that. All right, so we've got a lot of going on, that's for sure. Santa Anita races 5 days now. They've got Santa Anita will have today. They have a special racing card. This is a makeup day from the cancellations of the fires last week. So today is a makeup race day, a day that was not on the calendar but is now. So you got racing today at Santa Anita. Remember that. Then their usual Friday, Saturday, and Sunday schedule. And then, of course, Monday, coming up on Monday, is the Martin Luther King holiday. And on Monday, the Martin Luther King holiday, there will be racing at Santa Anita. So you have today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 5 straight racing days at Santa Anita with the holiday on Monday. And by the way, the Monday holiday, the usual racetracks that are running there, but believe it or not, there's only 5 racetracks that will be running, on the Martin Luther Monday holiday, January 20th. They include, of course, Mahoning Valley that's usually there and Parks Racing that's usually there. The 3 racetracks, in addition to those 2 that'll make up the 5 that are running on the holiday, are tracks that usually do not run on Monday but will run on this holiday, and that is the Fairgrounds, Oaklawn Park, and, of course, Santa Anita. So those will be the tracks that will be running on Monday. We understand that racing at Fairgrounds today, they have some of that bad weather that went through there, and there's a lot of bad weather going on throughout the country. But Fairgrounds is off the turf today. At the Fairgrounds, we understand, courtesy of one of our chatters that gave us that bit of information. And as far as the weather is concerned around the country, it's clear weather conditions for most of the country, the West, the Plains, the Midwest, etc. The last vestige of real bad weather, snow, etc., is going through the eastern part of Ohio, on through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and then on up through New York, and then out. So that's the precipitation. However, there's going to be an Arctic drop in the temperatures all through the Midwest, right through the Gulf Coast. It's going to go down like a big U over the United States, and there's going to be a lot of the Arctic weather coming in that's going to produce very, very, very cold, freezing weather in a lot of portions from the plain states on out to the East Coast. As far as anything else happening today, a little bit of rain on the eastern coast of Florida, not too much, though, to really talk about. And as far as the state of California, they're still dealing with the fires, and although the Santa Ana winds subsided a little, they say the weather conditions with the high over southern California, on the coast of California, that high-pressure system is going to come into play and create those Santa Ana winds coming next week. So they're trying to get those fires under control by next week, because when the Santa Ana winds start whipping up next week, it's going to be a dangerous situation for them in Southern California again. Today, the high in Southern California is going to be 68 degrees. As far as the temperatures around the other parts of the country, Miami is going to be 71. New York is going to get a high of 33 degrees today. So you know it's cold there. And I know Jonathan Ardoon is still sitting there in the frozen tundra. Chicago, 37, and Phoenix, Arizona, 75. Here in Las Vegas, we're barely going to make 60, might make 60. The top, they say, today is 59. Right now, it's 35 degrees outside in Las Vegas, so we are getting our typical cold weather in the wintertime here. And after all, it is winter here, after all. We are in the 16th day already of January, and we'll get into the overnight lows will be right around freezing, etc. And the daily highs are going to be between the mid 50s and maybe into 60 for the rest of the week. In case you're thinking about packing bags and coming up here for a quick weekend here in Las Vegas, after all, we have those NFL divisional playoff games yet, and of course on Monday, Martin Luther King holiday. That'll be the college football championship game as well that evening. So we got a lot as far as sports and horses here in Las Vegas going on. All right, we got just about all of the information you need for the moment. And for right now, we're going to go to our first break. And when we come back, we'll give you your racing menu and then off with the handicappers. Jonathan Hardoon, Rich Eng, John Lindo, and Jerry J. with their selections today as Aqueduct and Santa Anita resumes racing for this week. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
want to say hi to all of our chatters out there. They're chatting away, man. There's a lot of people on our chat box here, and you can join them as well. All you got to do is get to our page on YouTube, and when you see the Race Day show, you'll see the chat going on, the top chatters on the right-hand side of the page, and you can join them and enjoy the camaraderie as far as the people watching and listening to our show, along with the fact that some of them have, they have picks for you. They share picks as well. And, of course, comment on some of the things we're doing here. Want to say good morning to all of the chatters who wished me and the folks here at the Race Day show good morning. So good morning back to you. And if you're not a subscriber yet, it is simple. That's the only way you can get in the chat box is to subscribe. But the subscription is free. No strings attached. Just if you're on the page, you want to chat away, just hit subscription, subscribe, and then you'll be off chatting with everybody else. And a lot of interesting conversation going on. Hey, yesterday at Gulfstream Park, Luis Saez had a couple of winners. He won the third race for Brad Cox at 760, came back in the eighth race for Bobby DeBona at 860. So he was the only jockey that doubled yesterday at Gulfstream. The pick six paid $906.28. That was happening at Gulfstream Park yesterday. Check out the early pick five, though. Prices, $9.20, $10.40, $7.60, $12.60, and $14 even. Those were the five win prices on the horses that won in the early pick five, first five races. Pick five paid $4,471.75. All right, we get to Turfway Park. Remember that with that big carryover in their late pick five? Well, this is how the late pick five went. The sixth race was won by a horse at 10-1 on the morning line, was bet down and won the race, rolling up the rail. Theismann paid $6.94 for Corey Lannery. From 10-1 to 2-1 wins the opener in the pick five. In the seventh race, Urban Cowgirl wins at $17.38. That horse was 15-1 on the morning line and bet down for Jose Ramos. Then in the eighth race, the only horse on the sequence of five that looked like a real singleton on the ticket did get there. That was Fantastical, paying $3.52 with no problem. Adam Basija aboard. Basija came back in the ninth race with Sickle Dance paying $8.52. That horse was 5-1 on the morning line. And then the last race winner, Barkin Record, gave Lawan Machado his third win on the night. That horse paid $8.98. So the pick five, the pick five with the big carryover, each ticket for the pick five worth $912.61. 4 out of 5 in the consolation there paid $11.49. And if you think that was the biggest payoff of the night, of the day, not even close. Didn't make the top 5. Turfway Park's pick six jackpot paid $3,310.86. Delta Downs had a pick four that paid $6,901.55. Their pick five at Delta Downs yesterday paid $18,630.90. Tampa Bay had a super high five that paid $53,000 and change. And the biggest payoff of the day yesterday around the country was the pick five jackpot at Parks Racing. The late pick five jackpot was hit with a single ticket winner, $112,326.85. A lot of cash being given away yesterday across the country. And that carryover in the pick five at Turfway didn't make the top 5 payoffs. All right, here we go. We got the menu of racetracks available today in the Racebook simulcast centers, racetracks around the country. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're here in Las Vegas, you'll be playing the races in the Racebook right behind the studio here. Well, these will be the first post times that roll out in our Racebooks today. If you're listening in the Pacific time zone, these are your post times. If you're not, you're listening on a time zone all over the world, so many different time zones. Adjust from the time zone you're in to the Pacific time zone, and then you'll get your start time right. We don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? Here we go. We begin with Aqueduct Racetrack, the Big A in New York. And right now at Aqueduct, if we can punch up this page, seems like it is going to be fast, mostly sunny. Right now it's 25 degrees at Aqueduct, but it'll be mostly sunny there today anyhow. Aqueduct has 9 races today. First post time is at 9:10 at Aqueduct today. Mahoning Valley Racecourse. They've got a Pick 4 carryover in Mahoning Valley, just a regular Pick 4 now. That carryover of $4,852. They also have their Pick 6 carryover. That's a jackpot, though. The Pick 6 jackpot carryover in Mahoning is $13,249. Their first post time for 8 races set at 9:15. Gulfstream Park, their first post time is 9:20 for their 9-race card. Their Pick 6 Rainbow Jackpot carryover starting to build up again. Gulfstream Park's Rainbow Pick 6 Jackpot carryover today stands at $131,223, and a first post time for their 9 races at 9:20 today at Gulfstream. Fairgrounds, off the turf today at the Fairgrounds, so it's going to be off racing. 9 races today at the Fairgrounds, and a first post time there at the Fairgrounds is at 10:45 at the Fairgrounds. Sunland Park, well, as we indicated at the top of the show, you're going to have stakes races for 2 days at Sunland. Today they have 2 of them. The Corralito Steakhouse Stakes is the 8th on the card, 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds, 6-5 favorite Holy Hank. And then the La Senora Stakes is the 9th race on the card for 3-year-old fillies at 6 furlongs. That favorite in that race, and it's lukewarm at that. The favorite in the race is 4-1. That's the Smooch there. Last 2 races at Sunland are the stakes races of the day. They have 9 races overall. The first post time is 11:25. They have a small Super High 5 carryover there of $474 at Sunland Park today. All right, small carryover there. All right, Turf Paradise, Phoenix, Arizona. They've got 8 races. First race is going to be a quarter horse race. Then the last 7 will be thoroughbreds. First post time is 11:40 at Turf Paradise. They got a big Pick 6 jackpot carryover going on there. $115,573. $115,573 in their Pick 6 jackpot carryover. Turf Paradise first post time is 11:40 at Turf Paradise. And then we get to Santa Anita, one of the makeup days there at Santa Anita. They got 10 races today at Santa Anita. Kind of fun, huh? First post time is at noon, 12 noon, first post time at Santa Anita. They do have a Super High 5 carryover from the last racing day. That Super High 5 carryover, $17,762. And a first post time today for the 10-race card at Santa Anita is set at 12 high noon Pacific time. Delta Downs. First post time for 8 races at Delta, 250 at Delta. They've got 8 races on tap there today. Turfway Park has 10 races and full fields again. Turfway Park's first post time is at 2:55. What they have left at Turfway is their Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $65,223. That's their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $65,000 plus. First post time Turfway Park, 2:55. And Charlestown races with a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $10,000 and change, $10,817 to be exact. Charlestown has 9 races. Their first post time is at 4 p.m. at Charlestown today. And that is the racing menu for you on this Thursday. Now let's get out to the northern frozen tundra of upstate New York with Jonathan Hardoon. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's I know it's cold for us here. When you get to freezing overnight, it gets cold for us here, but nothing like what you're going through.
No, next week it's going to be brutal. It's going to be below 5 degrees most of the days next week up here. So we might as well enjoy the 20-degree temperature today while it lasts.
Let me ask you now, you read the headlines about what's going on down there in Florida as far as Gulfstream and the slots and the legislation they have up about decoupling the slot revenues from racing revenue. And since First Racing, of course, owns Gulfstream Park and they own a franchise of the slots going on too, they're kind of, I guess, there's got to be an advantage now of decoupling the two for the company. We know that. But now a little bit of a dangling, threat out there, guaranteeing 3 years of racing. And that why guaranteeing 3? I thought they were in good shape.
Gulfstream is using the excuse that they can't get people to invest in the property without decoupling, which is a bunch of bull as far as I'm concerned. Listen, Ralph, there were three gambling entities in Florida that decoupled: Hialeah, the dog track, and Pompano Racetrack, the harness track. All three of those gambling entities decoupled. All three of them went out of business within 3 years of after decoupling. And then Gulfstream had the nerve to put out a release a couple of weeks ago that the Horsemen agreed with Gulfstream on the decoupling. It's a complete lie. It's not true. Any horseman you spoke to didn't even know there was a vote. So I don't like what's going on. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel right. And listen, if Florida loses Gulfstream, well, they're in big trouble. And where's everyone at Tampa?
Let me ask you this, Jonathan. They just rebuilt the whole place from the ground up.
I know they invested all that money into rebuilding
and they got other businesses that are incorporated in that, so they can bring
it's like a mall.
Yeah, they got a mall there. They got restaurants. They got all that stuff, and they can't tell me that the racing, at least during the championship meet, is losing money. I mean, if it is, I mean, that championship meet's got some great races there and some great racing weekends coming up, just like the Pegasus coming up a week from Saturday. I can't believe that they're losing money.
It's a mess, Ralph. It's just a mess. It's Stronach at their best. What could I tell you? It's a horrible situation, and for everyone involved in Florida, the whole breeding program and everything else, this is really a scary time for them.
Let me ask you this. In decoupling the two, obviously some of the slot revenue has been to buoy the purse.
It subsidized part of the purse.
Right.
Right.
So now when they decouple, it means no more money coming from slots, so it's got to stand on its own 2 feet.
Or they could renegotiate the amount of money that comes from slots. They're blowing up the whole system. I'm telling you, Hialeah, the dog track, Pompano, all thriving. I don't know, Hialeah wasn't thriving, but they had a quarter horse meet there, which they no longer have.
Yeah, no, that was an excuse, that thing there. I mean, Hialeah was one of the premier racetracks in the world at one time.
It was the most beautiful track in the country, if you remember.
The swans and all that. It was, the
flamingos,
the pink flamingos.
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, it appears, since we don't have all of the facts, but it appears what we do see, it's like they're leaning towards getting into the casino business and not so much into the horse racing business.
Ralph, we don't know. Who knows? We just don't know. We have to sit and wait and see what's going to happen.
Don't forget, Calder Racecourse is defunct too. And that was
right.
Nice
That's
track.
what I'm saying. They have nowhere to go. Where are they going to go? To Tampa? If you're racing Florida, where are you going to go if Gulfstream closes? There's only one track left, Tampa.
I don't think they'll close Gulfstream because of the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on revamping that whole property there. I'm sure.
So why are they looking to decouple, Ralph? Why are they looking to something's up that we don't know about?
Yes, and since we don't know all of the facts, we can't really, put full blame on one side or the other. It just seems like the first wave of information that we're getting doesn't jive to help horse racing. Anyhow, it's there right now, that's for sure, and they're going to have
it'll be there for 3 years, hopefully. At
guaranteed,
least the next
they're going to guarantee 3 years. Now, what did you say? They couldn't. The reason for that, they say, is because they can't get people to invest in the property.
They were looking for investors to invest in the property, and they won't do it if the racetrack and the casino are coupled.
Didn't they?
I guess whoever wants to invest doesn't want to have anything to do with the track. That's their excuse they're using. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or true or false.
We fully understand that, but I'm looking at that. There's been quite a bit of investment from other entities already in making the mall happen and the restaurants and all that. They're not all owned and operated by the people that own the racetrack. I mean, there are other businesses that have invested in there already.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't have the answer.
Enough speculation because, we're not in politics. We're just calling balls and strikes, and that's all we got to go by right now. But it just did seem a little funny. I thought I'd ask you. Probably should have asked you next Wednesday. You can get a soapbox. But by that time, we might get more information. You can have a soapbox then. In any case, we have racing today at Santa Anita, a makeup card there. And as long as the air quality is good enough, and I'm not saying it's good, what I'm saying is good enough to compete, they'll do that there. And, of course, we're looking ahead to this weekend at Santa Anita where they lifted up the 5 Cal Cup Stakes races from the cancellation last week, and they're going to incorporate it into a card this week at Santa Anita. But they've got a good competitive 10-race card today, don't they?
They do, and listen, they've been closed a while, so they're filling the fields, which is a good sign. They're going to have an extra day, 2 extra days of racing this week, Thursday and Monday.
Yeah.
So, hopefully those fields could stay intact. There's no show Monday, is there?
No, we're not. We don't have a show on Monday.
I just wanted to ask you because I got a text. Somebody asked me, so I'm asking.
Well, we're telling everybody right now. Good for you. I'm glad you mentioned that. No Monday race. There's only 5 tracks running on Monday. No Monday show here for the race day, folks. I understand, however, folks, I wanted you out there to remember that there's not a show, but our handicappers, Jonathan Hardoon, Jerry Jackowicz, John Lendo, and Rich Eng, will all have sheets, complete sheets and handicapping for Monday's holiday card at Santa Anita. Correct?
Correct. Just because you're taking off, that doesn't mean we're taking off.
Well, I'm taking off from the show, but I'll be participating.
Off from the windows. You'll be at those windows.
I'll be participating. That's for sure. All righty. Well, what do we got for today?
Okay, let's look at Aqueduct's 3rd race. It's a mile on the main track. It's a maiden claiming event, and I like the number 6 horse in here, Glint. This is a 4-year-old gelding from the Robert Robato barn. Romero Mara aboard to ride. He's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. He's an improving horse. He's getting better with each start. I think the favorites in here are vulnerable. I like number 6, Glint, 5-1 on the morning line to upset and win today's 3rd race out at Aqueduct.
All right, the middle race in the early pick 5 and a part of the early pick 4 as well in the 3rd race, number 6, Glint, the 6 at 5-1 on the morning line. 3rd race, number 6, the pick at Aqueduct. Okay, well, let's go to Gulfstream because we got them for at least 3 more years.
Okay, let's look at the 8th race today, a flat mile on the main track. It's 1 turn. And I like the number 7 horse in here, Time Out. This is a 4-year-old colt from the Bill Mott barn. His only bad races out of his last 5 races were the races where he ran without Lasix. He went back on Lasix last time, ran well. He's on Lasix today. He's drawn outside. Junior Alvarado for Bill Mott, 5-1 on the morning line. Number 7, Time Out, wins today's 8th race out at Gulfstream Park.
All right, the 8th race at Gulfstream Park, the 7 Time Out, the 7 horse. In the 8th race is the play here from Jonathan Hardoon at Gulfstream Park. And now we're going to go to Santa Anita for the special Thursday card. 10 races at Santa Anita, and I got to tell you, most of the 10 races are full fields.
They are, especially the back end of the card, Ralph. And we're going to look at the 6th race today. It's 6 furlongs on the turf. It's not down the hill. It's a flat race. And I like number 4, Yakovlev. Yakovlev's a 5-year-old gelding for the Jeff Mullins barn. Umberto Rispoli aboard to ride. He's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. His last couple of races sprinting have really been good. I like number 4, Yakovlev, to win today's 6th race out at Santa Anita.
All right, 7th race, the 6th race, number 4, Yakovlev. The 4 in the 6th race, which is, by the way, the start of that late pick 5. It's going to be a juicy one today. So maybe we can single this horse in the 6th race, the 4, Yakovlev, and Rispoli aboard. And, of course, as we said, Jonathan has full sheets for Santa Anita, Aqueduct, and Gulfstream Park today, right?
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph.
All right, stay warm, Jonathan. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Stay safe and be well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we wish all of our listeners and all of our watchers and all of our chatters out there the same thing, safe going. We'll be back with Rich Eng. He's coming up next. Don't go away.
Here we are in Houston opening up our first veteran village, this beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risked their lives and are struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space, and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
My name is Carmine Giovinazzo. People might know me from CSI New York. And I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children. Why is it personally important to me? I mean, my sister is NYPD, my dad was NYPD. Coming from Long Island, Staten Island, it's like a lot of, cops and firefighters. So, it's what I grew up around and the kind of people I know. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Never forget.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
Okay, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Well, we got the NFL divisional playoffs coming up. There'll be 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. And out of the 4 games that are being played, only 1 game is going to be really outdoors, and that's the Kansas City. Well, actually, 1 game's going to be indoors, I should say. Pardon me. That's the Detroit Lions that is hosting the Commanders. Otherwise, you got outside stadiums. Kansas City hosting the Texans, the Eagles hosting the Rams, and the Bills, of course, hosting the Ravens. And that could be really dicey going up there in Buffalo, New York. So the weather could determine at least the betting numbers for these games on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Well, the thing to remember about outdoors at this time of year, Ralph, is quite frankly, the temperature is not as big a deal as the wind.
Yeah.
Because when it's windy, that means the passers have difficult time. The quarterbacks may be inaccurate to some degree because of the wind.
Right.
But if it's cold, these are grown-ups. These are men that know how to equip themselves to try to stay warm. And you'll see all the warmers on the sidelines and stuff like that. But that's the biggest thing to keep an eye on the weather reports.
Not
wind.
only that, but the kicking when you go for field goals, etc. That could be dicey with the wind. That's for sure. Any notable changes in the numbers right now for the games?
I haven't seen that much yet, but the trend, the common trend during any point of the National Football League season is if you want to bet favorites, you should better to do them early in the week. And if you want to chalk, you should wait closer to the post time because typically most of the casual players will play favorites. So, we'll see. I don't have anything in my pocket yet, or I'm still trying to digest all this.
Sure.
It's a really, really interesting set of
I just want
games.
to correct real quickly. You said the if you want to bet the favorites, you do it early, and if you want to bet the underdogs, you do it late. Correct?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the typical trend during a football season. Yes.
Okay, you got it. Hey, we got Santa Anita running today, and it's a pretty darn good card. 10 races, most of them are full races. The late pick 5 is going to be juicy, that's for sure. And you got a full handicapping sheet for today at Santa Anita right now at the racedaylasvegas.com websites. Richie, what are we doing today, buddy?
Well, good thing to know that we don't have to worry about Santa Anita decoupling because they don't have any slot machines in Arcadia.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's take a look at the first race, Ralph. It's a mile and an eighth on the grass. I'm going to go to a horse who's stretching out from the rail, the number 1 final edition, 9-2 in the morning line. Kazushi Kimura riding for Vladimir Surin. Comes out of a 5-furlong turf. But you take a look at the pedigree. It's Uncle Mo out of Warfront Dam. This horse looks like a 2-turn horse and runs like a horse that wants more ground. Let's see if Kimura gets a nice ground-saving trip with a 1 final edition in race 1.
All right, first race, post time is 12 high noon Pacific time. 12 noon Pacific time, first race. And in the first race, you like the 1. Easy to remember, 1 in the first at 12 noon. Gets us started. Kazuchi Kimura aboard the 1 final edition. Could be a singleton in the early pick 5 for us. And, of course, like I said, rest of the card available right now at the racedaylasvegas.com website. Okay, Richie, well, thanks a lot. All I could say is with your comments about the decoupling and all that, all of our chatters, 90% of our chatters, are in full agreement that when you start decoupling from casinos from racetracks, it's going to be trouble for the racetracks. And seems like the casinos are getting the upper hand as far as that's concerned. We'll wait and see, though. Hey, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All righty. We're going to be back quickly with our final break coming up, and then we go off with John and Jerry, so don't go away. We're almost there on this Thursday show.
Get ready to laugh with Punchlines with Frank Nicotero. Join Frank and his team of featured guests for your daily dose of comedy.
Reno, the Pittsburgh of the West.
Poison.
Yeah.
Poison.
Sports.
F for Falcons, Alex. We were talking Derek Carr for MVP after 2 games.
Who's we?
Okay, me. I was.
And the funniest social media posts.
People want to show off their food. Boom. Wiener on a guy's shoulder. It's the dark tones. We bleed blue.
It's your one-stop spot for great laughs and a good time. Find us on YouTube at Punchlines FN. And join the chat live weekdays at noon Pacific for the ultimate blend of jokes, sports, and viral fun.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Thursday. And yes, we do have Santa Anita. John Lendo standing by in Southern California. John, it's a Thursday racing at Santa Anita, buddy.
I love it. 10 race card, good fields today. Wide open late pick 5 and late pick 4. So some wagering opportunities today, Ralph.
Looking ahead to the 5 stakes races that were supposed to be contested last weekend, but coming up this weekend, the Cal Cup 5 stakes races, which one intrigues you the most?
Well, the marquee horse is going to probably be Big City Lights in the Cal Cup Sprint, but he's going to probably be 2-5 on the morning line, and I would be surprised if he got beat in that race. And the Cal Cup Derby, it's 3-year-olds going 2 turns on dirt, so you always take a second look at those. It's headed up by Shea Brennan, who won the King Glorious at Los Alamitos. But at this point, these Calbred 3-year-olds are kind of taking turns. So it's a interesting race, but I don't have a strong feel on the Derby. As far as betting races, I think probably the most interesting gambling race to me is the Sunshine Millions Filly Amir Sprint that's down the hill.
Yeah.
You're going to have a heavy favorite there in Stay and Scam, who does like the hill, but she's a filly that kind of tailed off at the end of last year, and I'm not sure, based on what her odds are going to be, if there's any value at all, because I don't know if she's the same filly as we saw earlier in the year, and that would open the door for horses like Andiamo Ragazza, who is a late-running turf sprinter, and she gets back on grass. Mm-hmm. You have Moment's Pleasure cutting back from a mile, and we've seen these routers do very well cutting back down the hill at Santa Anita, and Safa, who tries every time. So that's the best gambling race of the Cal Cup Series to me, the 7th race on Saturday.
Yeah, no question about that. And coming down the hill is going to add that dimension to it as well. Peter Miller has Andiamo Ragazza, the horse that you say that's a nice price on the morning line at 10-1. By the way, Peter Miller is going to be real active this week at Oaklawn Park. He's got a stable down there, but they say he's got quite a few horses that will be entered in races at Oaklawn this weekend. So he's branching out as well. A quick thought about the key subject matter today about the decoupling going on in Florida.
Well, you're asking my opinion. So just my opinion, I just think the First Racing is trying to bully the horsemen. They're just, they're putting this in front of them, sign this or else. And if you sign it, it's going to be your deathbed because they'll separate that and they'll operate the casino and the track will go away. And, if you don't sign it and they decide they're going to, play hardball and try and shut down the track, well, if you don't sign it, then they can't operate the casino either. So I just think you take any leverage away from the horsemen if you sign that agreement and decouple the licenses from the racetrack and the casino. We've seen the pattern of what's happening. You look at what happened with First Racing in Maryland, what happened to Golden Gate in California.
Yeah,
it's not a pretty pattern, Ralph.
We will wait and see how that shakes out. That's for sure. But it is a caution because anything that's happening in racing of that concern and that dimension will affect the players sooner or later, like us. In any case,
well, the players, the owners, and the breeders.
Yeah, everybody. It's not just one dimension thing. That's for sure. Talking about those races at Santa Anita, the Cal Cup races, the other interesting race is the one that's on the turf as well, and that's the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. That thing has got 11 in it, and there's really no big favorite in the race. I guess Old Pal is the 8-5 morning line choice there with Frey Sue for Glatt.
Well, Allegato ran second in this race 2 years ago. Ran third in the race last year. They were both within a half length of the winner. He's the stablemate of Old Pal. He points to this race every year. A mile and eighth on the grass is what he wants. But he just doesn't seem to get there. And so I don't know if he can change that pattern. So you talked about Old Pal.
Yeah.
He's a younger horse from the same barn, Mark Latt, and same kind of style from off the pace. He might be the one to watch there. The last two Calbred turf stakes, sprinting and routing, were won by On the Whim for Dean Pedersen. He draws the rail, and he'll probably get first run on those other horses. So he might be the now horse.
Well, we will take a look at those races in earnest with some picks, of course, on Saturday. Just wanted to take a quick look at it as we head into Saturday. And by the way, the fires in Southern California, latest status on that, okay?
Nothing has changed. The weather ought to be good. The air ought to be good for today. They're still, nothing is 100% contained.
Right.
So they're still working and everything, but the winds are down today. So far, so good.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed. John Lindo's Lindo Report for Santa Anita today is available here with selections in all the races, a suggested late pick 4, and all the goodie information. We'll get to the jockey and trainer standings tomorrow, John, as we begin officially the weekend at Santa Anita. But your Lindo Report is available only in one place here in the gaming capital. It's here at the South Point, free of charge and exclusively here, complimentary because they love horse players here. What are we doing, John, for today?
Wide open seventh race at Santa Anita. In the seventh race, number 8, Expressive Love, a first-timer, has shown good gate speed in the morning. Going 5.5 here ought to be what this filly wants to do. The Amador Sanchez barn. This is a barn that is based in Florida, but Sanchez showed he can win in California during the Del Mar meet last summer. He's probably going to get overlooked a little bit, 12-1 on the morning line. I think this filly has a chance to pull an upset. So race number 7, number 8, Expressive Love at Santa Anita.
Yeah, nice 12-1 on the morning line in that 7th race, part of the late pick 5 and the start of the late pick 4. The 7th race, number 8, Expressive Love. We'd love to see her win. The 8 in the 7th race at Santa Anita. Don't forget the Lindo Report covering all the races right now here at the South Point Racebook, free of charge. Hey, thanks a lot, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Okay, Ralph. Good luck today.
All right, you got it. Now we go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by, who is back to working. Jerry, you got 2 sheets today, Aqueduct and Santa Anita. Good morning.
Yeah. Glad to be back at full work. Yeah, that's great. Hopefully everything goes off without a hitch. And we have the cold weather in New York, but they seem to be running in it. That's good. And hopefully the smoke is not a problem over at Santa Anita.
Yeah, I ditto that. That's for sure. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, by the way, Ralph, I had a little bit of a mind burp. I forgot to send my plays in, so they won't come up on the graphic.
Not a problem. Just give it to us, and I'll repeat it. Go ahead. Aqueduct.
Okay. Let's go to Aqueduct's eighth race. Number 5, Nilo's Rose for Bobby Falcone, first-time Lasix. First 2 races are excellent, a little freshening and stretching out from 6 to 6.5 and now out to a mile. I kind of like that look. I like the 5 horse an awful lot in race number 8.
Mm-hmm.
If we get 9 to 5 or better, I think the 5, Nilo's Rose, is a good bet.
Okay.
I'll play the 5 over the 1, 2, 3, and 8. Small reverses just to break even. And I have a nice pop-out key in the 9th race that you might want to hook the 5 up with.
Yeah, a little late double there going on. The 8th race, the 5, number 5, folks, is the key. The 5, Nilo's Rose. The link-ups are 1, 2, 3, and 8. 5 over 1, 2, 3, and 8, and reverse at Aqueduct. Now we'll get to Santa Anita.
Yeah, we'll go to the 9th race here for Lil Richard's Bellow.
Okay.
Juan Hernandez up. It doesn't hurt at all. Just looks a little bit faster than these and in a really good spot. If you get 3 to 2 or better, I think you're okay here.
All right.
I'll take the 6 here over the 1, 4, 5, and 7. That's the 6, Lil Richard's Bellow. I sound like Richard Pryor there. Lil Richard's Bellow. Anyway, the 6 over the 1, 4, 5, and 7, small reverses. It's all about Lil Richard's Bellow in the 9th at Santa Anita.
9th race, Santa Anita, number 6, Little Richard's Bellow. The 6 is the key. The link-ups 1, 4, 5, and 7, and reverse. And hopefully everybody got that out there. That's the 9th at Santa Anita. Full sheets for Santa Anita and Aqueduct available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. Remember that. All righty. Well, we're going to go out to the races and enjoy today, and then we'll be back here tomorrow on Friday to do it all over again with our handicappers and hopefully you too. One more thing to say, Jerry. Say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.